And a lot of them are earning this level of income. I think it's time for the government to increase, to help. And if these people, if the company cannot afford to pay higher than that, then return the land back to the government and let these rural people farm their own land, plant their own land, so that they can achieve better income. Mr. Speaker, we don't want a high income state, but with a low earning population. We don't want a high income state, but with a low earning population. At the moment, although the national statistic is that the mean income is 5,900 ringgit Malaysia per household. How many of our households in Sarawak is earning that? How many? Especially the rural households. They are earning less than 2,000, 3,000 a month. That's way below the national need. That's number two. Therefore, I will call on the state government, you have the power. You have the power, absolute autonomy on immigration matter. Without the state government giving the nod, giving approval for the importation of these 12,000 Bangladeshi workers, they can't come in. And please do not subject our own people to the competition from this cheap labor from Bangladesh. Issue number 3 is about SESCO performance, Mr. Speaker. SESCO performance. Last session, I mean the Honourable Minister for this resource planning 2 was saying that SESCO make a profit of 226.6 million for the year 2012. I have some figure here. That is about the committed demand for electricity, revenue of SESCO, and profit. For 2012, committed demand was 1,490 megawatts. Revenue earned by SESCO, 1,862 million. Pre-tax profit, 266.6 million. 2013, the committed demand increased tremendously to 2,331 megawatts. Revenue of SESCO for 2013 is 2,312 million. And pre-tax profit is 408.5 million, a sudden jump. SESCO's income mainly comes from two categories of their customers. One is what the minister has termed as organic customers, which are like you and me. The domestic customer, industrial, and commercial customers. They pay the tariff that is published. They pay the tariff rates that are published in the SESCO website. The other group of customers are the special customers, like those in Samalaju, the smelting plant, where they pay the tariff based on the rates that is negotiated between SESCO and these companies. The average tariff that we are paying is about 30 cents per unit. The average tariff that they are paying is about 11 cents per unit. Now, we noticed from the figure here, there's this sudden jump in the revenue and the committed demand. And such a sudden increase basically mainly comes from these special customers. And also because of the fact that Bakum has come into operation. Therefore, with such an increase in revenue, the committed demand, estimated committed demand of SESCO in 2014 would be around 2,996 megawatts. All these figures are based on answers provided by the ministers in this house. If you extrapolate the figures, the estimated revenue of SESCO would be in the region of 2,700 million for the year 2014. And the profit would be about 520 million for 2014. That is, if you base on the figures. Under such circumstances, it is well within the means of SESCO to reduce the electricity tariff for the organic customers, i.e. the domestic user, the commercial and industrial user, by 30%. We had that signature campaign calling on the reduction of the electricity tariff by 30%. It was rejected by the Honourable Minister based on the figure of 2012, based on the financial figure of SESCO in 2012. At that time, the financial statement of SESCO for the year 2013 has not been filed with the ROC, and therefore we have no way of knowing it. But now it has been filed, and I have made a search. The profit has jumped to 400 million, and by the figures that I've shown, this profit will increase to 520 million, and so I will submit that it is now within the ability of SESCO to reduce the electricity tariff by 30%, and I will call on again the government to reduce electricity tariff for domestic, industrial and commercial customers by 30%. That's issue 3. Issue 4. Mr. Speaker, I would like to raise a specific case that is about a plot of land along the road Batukawa, opposite MJC Commercial Center. I was informed that the government has alienated the few parcels of land to all in, containing an area of 267 acres, to a company known as Standard Karet Development Sdn Bhd at the price of 115 million only. That is on an average price of about 400,000 per acre, while the land in that area can easily fetch a market price of 2 million or 3 million an acre. I have here with me a photocopy of the agreement signed by the government of the state of Sarawak with Standard Karet Development Sdn Bhd, alienating, promising to alienate this land to this company. Mr. Speaker, if you can still remember, I think Ali Muhammad from Penting has bought another parcel of land near Simpang Tiga, where those parcels of land were supposed to be earmarked for education purpose, and it was also alienated to this Standard Karet Development Sdn Bhd for mixed development. What is so special about this Standard Karet Development Sdn Bhd? Even when they have not developed the earlier parcel of land situated in Simpang Tiga, the government cannot wait any longer but to alienate another parcel of land to this company. Mr. Speaker, this agreement was dated 8th of March 2014, and Ahmad Muhammad has been saying that he will not allow his immediate family members to apply for state land. I will urge Ahmad Muhammad to look into this matter. Why state land of the value of 2 to 3 million per acre were alienated to a company, a private company, for a mere 400,000 per acre. What is so special about this company? Who is this Barry Tan? What relationship he has with the power that be? From Mr. Speaker.
Your friend, Mr. Speaker knows him.
I think you know him also.
Very Tan.
Barry Tan.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker,
He knows many people.
the state AG, they said that this is already a concluded agreement. We can't do anything. However, there is still some escape clause to this agreement. Development, design, plan for the land affected needs to be approved by the state government. I will suggest, if there's no way to nullify this agreement, you can impose conditions like building how many thousands of units of low-cost housing, affordable housing units, how many schools to be built on the land, so much so that at the end of the day, the society, the people can get the benefit of at least the market value of the land.
Right.
That is a possible way.
Setuju.
The best way would be to take back the land. After all, this is only an agreement. The land is still registered under the name the state. Even now, even though the land still remains with the state, but this guy is already earth-filling the land. So, Mr. Speaker, there's some urgency to the matter, and I will urge Yang Ahmad Berhormat to urgently look into this matter and rectify the wrong. Too much state lands has been given. Too much state land has been alienated to private companies for private profit for far too long.
Yeah.
And that was done by the previous administration.
All over Sarawak.
Under his predecessor. And I think it is time for change in the administration. As such, Mr. Speaker, I will go into point number 4. Point number 5 of my debate, i.e. I applaud Yang Ahmad Berhormat for making the statement that he will not agree. He agrees. For making the statement that he agrees not to allow his immediate family members to apply for state land and logging concession. And the MSCC as well applaud his statement and position. But sad to say, after he made the statement, none of his cabinet ministers supported his statement. Laya was here just now. Unfortunately, he has left. Balay left also. None of them are here now. But I will challenge them. Why? Why they do not support or emulate Yang Ahmad Berhormat on his integrity pledge? That's why integrity pledge. Yang Berhormat from Dalat. Would you support it? Will you make a similar pledge? That's such an integrity pledge. Emulate your leader in the cabinet. Will you do so? All the assistant ministers at the back there, behind there, anyone of you would like to emulate, follow the footsteps of Yang Ahmad Berhormat, the chief minister? None. That is very sad. The statement was made on the 26th June. The integrity pledge was made on the 26th June. And after that, I've called on all the cabinet ministers to make similar pledge. But sad to say, none of them is willing to follow the pledge by Yang Ahmad Berhormat, the chief minister. So much so that he was so disappointed that on the 25th of September, 3 months after he made the statement, he resigned to the fact that none of his cabinet ministers is with him on this point. So he made another statement, no force on integrity pledge. I.e., that is up to each member of the state cabinet to decide whether to follow the chief minister's pledge not to allow his immediate family members to apply for state land and logging concession. This is very embarrassing. And this is very sad. That such an integrity pledge that is so well received by the people and even applauded by the MSCC is not supported by the cabinet ministers. Not a single one. As such, I think if Yama Muhammad truly wishes to implement transparency and clean governance in his administration, he can only find friends in the opposition. He can find friends in the Barisan Nasional. Because corruption, cronyism is the culture of Barisan Nasional. But here, I want to urge on Yama Muhammad to stay strong to the cause. To stay strong to the cause towards a clean, transparent governance for Sarawak. Mr. Speaker, the next issue is about the direction, about our relationship with the federal government. Mr. Speaker, so much has been said about Pen Borneo Highway, about upgrading the Pen Borneo Highway to a true highway. And so much has been promised all these years by the federal government that they will give extra allocation for Sarawak. And when Ahmad Muhammad became the chief minister, he was saying that he wants the federal to give extra allocation for Pen Borneo Highway. It was announced in the federal budget. It was announced in the federal budget that the government will start the construction of the federal Pen Borneo Highway, the upgrading of the Pen Borneo Highway next year. In Parliament, I've confronted the JKR minister, the Minister for Public Works, who is also a Sarawakian, Yang Berhormat Dato' Sri Haji Fadila, on this. I asked him, let me see. Satu lagi soalan, I quote. Satu lagi soalan mengenai bayar balik kepada kontraktor yang akan dipilih. Adakah kerajaan akan mengenakan tol atas Pen Borneo Highway supaya orang ramai yang bayar, atau adakah kerajaan sendiri yang akan bayar kepada kontraktor yang membina Pen Borneo Highway? Unquote. That is my question. The reply I get from Dato' Sri Haji Fadila bin Yusuf, Minister for Public Works, Yang Berhormat Bandar Kuching, seperti mana yang saya katakan, dari segi kedudukan, kewangan, kos semua sedang diperincikan dan apa-apa keputusan nanti sudah pasti akan diumumkan oleh pihak UKAS. Dan kita tunggulah sebab ia belum dimuktamadkan. Kaedahnya pelbagai yang saya kata tadi. Kalau kita mengikut kaedah di Semenanjung, ada kaedah yang kita mengenakan dibayari sepenuhnya dan dibayar balik secara toll collection. Akan tetapi, adakah yang membolehkan kita melaksanakan kaedah tersebut di Sabah Sarawak? Ia belum dapat dimuktamadkan sehingga kini. Until now, Mr. Speaker, the federal government has not finalized how this Pen Borneo Highway, the upgrading of the Pen Borneo Highway, is going to be financed, either by government allocation or by core. If it is by core, then it is not allocation. It is without paying. So I will urge the state government to insist that the construction of the upgrading of the Pan-Borneo Highway should be financed solely by allocation from the federal government, not by our own people. And on that, I would like to also bring to our attention, Mr. Speaker, I think I would like to speak a bit on how the state and the federal relationship should develop or should proceed from here. Mr. Speaker, we are one of the 4 nations that formed Malaysia in 1963. After that, Singapore left us. After 51 years, what is supposed to be an equal partner between Sarawak and Federation of Malaya has now reduced, has now been changed to Sarawak being one of the 13 states in Malaysia. When we even ask for a basic highway for the state, the federal government has been procrastinating and delaying the issue. Until today, after several promises, still nothing concrete come true. Therefore, we DAP has come out with a Bintulu Declaration 2014. We would like to suggest to the state government to consider this declaration. The points raised. There are 5 points about the equal partners between Sarawak and West Malaysia. How do we proceed? Mr. Speaker, bear in mind, the relationship within a federation is not a static relationship. It should be a dynamic relationship, be negotiated from time to time. We have 5 points here. Number 1, to call upon the federal government to respect the true spirit of the formation of Malaysia, that Malaysia is a secular state, where freedom of religion shall be upheld at all times. 2, to empower the Sarawak state government with sufficient revenue for the planning and development of Sarawak to be at par with West Malaysia by returning to Sarawak state government 20% oil and gas royalty as compensation in lieu of oil and gas rates. And B, returning to Sarawak state government 50% of all tax revenue generated and collected in Sarawak. And 3, to review the 9th schedule of the Federal Constitution to devolve powers of education and healthcare to Sarawak, as well as partially allowing Sarawak to have some autonomy over its own police force. Mr. Speaker, on number 3, I would like to elaborate a bit. Number 3, we used to have very good education system. Our mission schools, whereby subjects are taught in English. After we formed Malaysia, slowly that right has been eroded. And now the Federal Ministry of Education has made a mess of the whole education system. If they are to make a mess of the education system in West Malaysia, so be it. But for Sarawak here, I think we should revive our previous system. We should revive the mission schools, whereby English is the language of instruction. To reintroduce that, get the mission schools system back into our education system. And for that, I will urge the state government to to negotiate with the federal government, especially in terms of power under the 9th schedule of the Constitution. Devolve the power of education and healthcare as well. Back to the state. The speaker, give me 1 or 2 minutes just to wind up.
No.
Give me 1 or 2 minutes just to wind up.
You only given 2 extra minutes.
No, Mr. Speaker,
I have to be fair with everybody.
not many,
Not many
I don't want to
are
speak.
speaking.
This surely makes no sense.
not many people want to speak.
You
So you want to
just
conclude,
conclude.
you want to finish at 4.
Just conclude. Just conclude.
Okay, I will continue. Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Just
Speaker.
conclude.
Yeah, as for the healthcare as well, I think the centralization of the healthcare service is not making any good for us. That's why we are calling on the taxation system to be amended, to be changed, whereby we get back 50% of tax generated and collected in Sarawak. And with that money, we can finance our own education system, our teachers, our schools, and also our medical services in all the hospitals. I believe Sri Aman has been waiting for years, decades, for a hospital and still have been neglected. And many areas in the rural areas as well, their medical services has been neglected. Why? Because centralization. Centralization of the medical service, so much so that the one who make decision, who formulate policy, do not understand the local situation in Sarawak. As such, I urge, finally, I just urge
You can bring it
the
up.
state government. No, not bring it up. The state government asked, I brought it up in Parliament.
Made your point. You have made your point.
The Parliament said that let the state government come with the suggestion. So that's why I'm urging the state government to
You have made your point.
Thank you.
Any other member who wishes to speak? Kali yang hormat bagi kami.
Okay lah. Central civil system yang lekong lah.
Terima kasih Datuk Speaker. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, salam persidangan, salam satu Malaysia. Saya ingin mengucapkan banyak terima kasih kepada Datuk Speaker kerana memberi peluang untuk mengambil bahagian dalam pembahasan bajet 2015 yang telah diundangkan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Chong Chieng merangkap Menteri Kewangan pada hari Isnin 10 November 2014 yang lalu.